Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. It is Sunday, June 14th, 2026. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to this podcast, please be sure to check out my website at lisahopp.com. I'm also on Instagram under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. I'm on Facebook under my business page, Lisa M. Hopp, Spiritual Coach and Medium. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, all of those who listen every week, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. I welcome you from iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you are, Comcast, Xfinity, wherever you are listening from, any platform, Apple. Thank you. I appreciate all of you who listen every week. I appreciate your comments and any suggestions you ever want to give me about a topic. Please feel free. I appreciate that so very much. So today's topic, coffee with your shadow, the parts of you that want to heal. What if the parts of yourself you spent years hiding are actually the doorway to your greatest healing? So this week, let's explore the spiritual practice of shadow work. Shadow work is the hidden beliefs, the suppressed emotions, the fears, the triggers, the wounds that quietly influence our lives until we're willing to really bring them into the light and go at them and heal them. But rather than judging these parts of ourselves or yourself, what if we met these emotions with compassion, with love? I always like to hug myself, whether it's my young child self or my current Lisa self. I give her warmth. I give her self-love. What if your triggers, your emotional stuff that pops up, are actually messengers guiding you toward deeper healing, self-acceptance? I know that that's what it's all about. So I brought up this conversation, this topic this week because I've gone through some shadow stuff this week. And I've seen that some of my friends have also been going through the shadow stuff this week. And so it's timely. Maybe it's just a time on our planet this week where things are rising up from our deepest parts within to tackle. We are going through an alignment on this earth, a healing, a ascension, and it has to be what it's all about. But what's important is, again, to understand embracing yourself without judgment, without negativity, without criticism, your whole self, who you are. But having an awareness of releasing that which no longer serves you, which harms you, which helps you to feel sad or in any other emotion. This week, it really got me. It was like a sharp sword or a sharp dagger of betrayal. I've been betrayed. And it just really stabbed me this week. These particular relationships have done that before, but this week went a little bit sharper, went a little bit deeper. And the betrayal happened time ago. It's not a recent thing. But what happens is things keep happening to trigger it, to bring it back into my awareness, to help me to understand that the healing still needs to be there. It still needs to happen. Because healing isn't something you do all at once. It's a process. Yes, we can have instantaneous healing, but most of the time it's a process. And healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been without those wounds. You see, the shadow is not your enemy. It's just a younger part of you that's been waiting for your love instead of your judgment. It's been waiting for your healing instead of the harm. So it's so important to understand and keep that in mind, and that it's safe. It is safe to explore the shadow. Now, what I came to do in my healing this work with the betrayal, and with any wound that pops up for me to heal, is that I start being loving towards myself, as I said, but loving also in the way I speak, within my mind, and if I'm alone, out loud. It is best to know about people and experiences than not to know, sooner rather than better. That is who they are. And that's not something I did to deserve it. It's not who I was. It's not who I am that would ever deserve for someone to be unkind, to betray trust, to betray investment as a person. But I learned something, which is another reason why I am sharing this with you, the shadow topic, is that I had an aha. And I love the aha wisdom moments where something is just given to you and you go, yes, that is the reason. That is the point. And it pops up out of nowhere, like a pop-up shop. It's not something I work heavy on. It's not something I even journal on. It's just, it's almost like I'm minding my own business and the wisdom pops in. And what I realized is the comparison between who I am today and who I used to be. Now, I came to this world as knowing my life purpose was to be in some form a spiritual teacher. And when I started to do intuitive work, I noticed I was a counselor, not just a reader. Even when I used tarot cards over 20 years ago, I still wanted to guide, I still wanted to counsel, I still wanted a life coach. And so I knew that was a natural part of me. And in the past, I would not only do it professionally, but I felt that I should also be like that personally. At some point, I couldn't even help myself. It's like, this is just who I am. I just life coach. But the one thing is that when I was life coaching others, my friends, family, whomever, personally it was, besides my clients, it was never from a place of I am better than you or higher than you or more perfect than you. It was never condescending. It was always, I want to help you because I care, because I love, because I want to assist, because you matter to me. And then over time, I evolved. And I stopped in the last few years, to feel that natural part of me to do that. I started to accept people just for who they were and are, and to let them be where they are. And yes, to listen, but not to feel I had to coach, not to be like, okay, listen so you have a response. To get that response ready while I'm listening, which we can do sometimes, can't we? I know it's out there a lot. It's like we listen to respond. So I was doing that. But now I don't feel the need to respond. I'm just fine with just listening. So I noticed that when I came into that place, there was a bit of a transition time where I was still attracting people that wanted to share with me. They still wanted to come together with me to pour themselves out, their heart out. And I loved that it's a safe place that it was a safe place for them to do that. And I noticed that they were doing that because of naturally who I am and naturally who they are. But it was like a turn. I no longer was giving necessarily the guidance, but I was still attracting people who wanted to be comfortable to do that. And I hope that continues. But then I got to a place, and it was around that transition where I thought, okay, yes, this is okay to go with what's troubled you, to go with the sadness, to vent. But let's have some fun. Where's the fun at? Where's the enjoyment? Where's the lightness? And so now I just want to make sure that everyone who comes around me knows we got to have fun. We got to laugh. We have to do crazy, wild, young things. It's got to be light and pleasant like that. Doesn't mean you don't have the freedom to share, but let's not make it all about that. So there was a bit of a transition time when it was all about the sharing. And now I must insist that it has to be more all about the fun. Because it helps in the healing. And it should be all about the healing. And so I changed within. I evolved. And the life coach only wants to life coach when she's life coaching her clients. She can listen as a friend, yes, but it's not something I feel impelled to do. I feel I have to do. I feel it's my job to do personally as well as professionally. I keep it more professional for the most part. Just as I am also a medium. And I don't want a medium when I'm not working. And so it's about that line. It's about that boundary. And I love the person that I am today, as I always have, in some way, shape, or form, or wanted to love myself. But the love I feel for myself today is all right, but just letting everybody be who they are, no matter where they're at. I've done this before. I've suggested to people methods to heal them, and they are not inclined to follow through. Okay, you are not ready to heal your condition or your emotions, and that's all right. It's not my job, and it's really not anyone's job, to fix and save. I want you to file that, listeners. It is never our job to fix and save, because we can't. It is up to us individually to fix and save ourselves. Are we all one? Yes. Should we support each other? Always. But it is not your job to take on the wounds of another. People in the past, and it can happen a little bit today, but I really don't put up with it. I laugh because it's true. People would project onto me how they feel and say it's mine to take, or it's me. No, it's not. It's you. It's your stuff. Not going to have it. Not going to have you putting it on me to take. It is yours. But sometimes when someone does that projection, it hurts. Because they are often, people who project onto others can often be of rage and unkindness at the least, disrespect. And they'll say, you make me feel that way. No, you feel that way. And for some reason, I'm a mirror. So that's another aha. That is the aha I got this week, actually. What I got this week was when I was being that great friend, that great person, that great family member, whatever. When I was trying to do my best by them, I was actually mirroring to them without trying to all the lack they felt about themselves. Even though they would say, "Oh, that was so great, you made me feel better," they weren't telling the truth. Some people in our lives are liars. And when you're in a personal situation, I'm very good at kind of weeding out liars. You can't really put a lie past me most of the time. But sometimes in personal situations, I can take you at your word. And so when you say you appreciate me, I assume that was true. When really, without trying to, I was not helping to make them feel better about themselves. But that's where they were, and that's probably where they are. And so I came to understand that while I had good intentions, and in no way about any ego or conceitedness or anything that would be harmful, in some way they kept their harm. And so what that did for me was help me to understand the betrayal. It didn't come from anything, as I said, I deserved. It came from their own inner shadows. And they couldn't help themselves. And so I have to accept that, forgive them, energy-wise love them, and set them free. As I set myself free from their harm. They didn't really mean it. Some did. Some do. Some are intentional. But for the most part, people don't really mean what they're up to. They don't get it because they're not in your body. They're not first person being you. They're only really projecting from their own space. And sometimes I do silently, privately, do a little chuckle off of the hypocrisy that can be out there. You know, how we can post or speak in a way of others doing to us what we've done to others. I just give a little chuckle to that because it's the irony of human nature, of our personalities, of the perfect selves we are that can be so imperfect. Every single one of us carries light and shadow. And the shadow within us isn't something to be eliminated necessarily. It's something to understand. It's something to recognize the shadow because it is the cause often of our limiting beliefs and again our wounds. It's important to embrace your authentic self and to again love yourself. Don't judge yourself. You do not have to try to be perfect. You're seen as perfect by the heavenly realm, by the way. They see only the spark of your soul. But on earth, it's hard to get it right perfectly because we can never ever fully understand where somebody else is coming from. So we don't know in our interactions with others whether we're harming or helping. All we can do is be our very best. But while it's important to have understanding that others have stories and there are things going on, what is most important, first and foremost, is to take care of yourself. Your goal is not to be all light. Your goal is to become whole, to embrace every part of yourself, to love the darker as much as the lighter. And when you catch a wound, when you have a moment that you feel sad or angry or just wounded in any way, don't run from it. Listen with compassion to it. Why is this there? What is it about? Who is it about? And then go to the forgiveness. Now, I have heard from my clients at times that they cannot forgive. I won't forgive. I can't forgive. No way. The thing is, we're so taught about the verbal, expressing outward. You do not have to forgive and then forget and announce to the person, if they're still on earth, that you've done it and have a relationship with them. That is not what we are talking about here. What we're talking about is inner work. To forgive is truly to forgive yourself and to love yourself for just being a part of it, for letting it happen. And also give yourself credit and love for it coming to light, for being there, and for not allowing yourself to be eternally harmed by it. Don't give your power away to somebody else. These moments to come up for us where we're feeling down or lonely or isolated or fooled or betrayed. These are moments that are wisdom. They're enlightenment. They're giving us information that is good for us. It tells us what we want and what we don't want, no matter what that means, whether it be experiences or people. The triggers are not punishments. The wounds are not punishments. They're always invitations to clear, to heal, to embrace spiritual transformation. And so what I do is I make it into a project. A good self-project, self-transformational project. What do I want to do here? Now, well, let me continue before I digress, before I cut my sentence in half. I always ask myself, okay, you have these emotions. And I talk myself through them, the whys. I don't want to, and I don't want you to be back there in the memory and living there, because you will never change your life for the better if you're living in the past. You will just continue to recreate the past. And I don't want to do that as much as I don't want you to do that, and you don't want to do that as well. So what I do is I'm like, what is this teaching me? What is the lesson here? What do I need to know? If it's a relationship, it teaches you what you don't want and what you do want. It also teaches you to become a better version of yourself. Take responsibility for yourself. In fairness, in honesty. When I said I didn't deserve to be betrayed, I didn't deserve to be betrayed. I am in no way deserving of that. I mean it. I didn't deserve it in any way. I didn't ask for it. I didn't bring it on to myself. It was about growth. And so I know that if I had deserved it, then I would look at that honestly and see what I could do to do better. That's what I'm talking about. And I also want to say to you that I went to say before, is that there's karma. But what we must be very careful of is not to wait for karma, wish for karma. Karma. We don't want to pray and ask for what we really don't want to boomerang back. Just know with observation and belief that it's done. Even if you don't see it, it's happening. And sometimes it delays because it has to build up. That's a giggle because that's the truth. Again, it's the truth. So no one gets away with anything. If someone betrays you, they shall be betrayed. If someone lies, they will be lied to. They will be deceived. If someone cheats on you, they will be cheated. If someone uses your name in a lie, talks about you untruthfully, in a bad way, it will happen to them. If I have more, you know what has happened to you in life, right? If someone robs from you, they will be robbed. If someone harms another in any way, they are going to be harmed. Again, no one gets away with anything. I love to use this example that if you cut someone off in traffic, you will be cut out in traffic. It'll come either in the next moment or at some point, because we get what's coming to us. We are never excluded, not a one of us, of the billions of people on earth. So know that. And remind yourself of that if it helps you in healing. But do not try to push it. Do not try to escalate it. Do not look for it. Do not hope for it. Do not wait for it. Just know. Now, the shadow side can have a little devil side. And I can have that as well. I will be honest. Where when it comes to karma, I'll say quite bluntly to myself, oh, so the karma hasn't hit yet. All right, it's coming. Now maybe I don't want to have that tone. But I'm human. It's all right to be human. What it's not all right to be is the human you that doesn't serve you. That feels like a victim. That wishes harm on others, that can't forgive, that can't give up your anger, that stresses over things that don't need to be stressed about. There are people in this world, and you may be one of them, that are so worried that somebody else is getting something that they are not getting. There's no competition in this world. There's infinite supply. There's no one on this earth that is taking from you something or someone that you cannot have. But there are people that worry about that. There are people that look at people in the grocery line and look at what they're buying with their food stamps. Let it go. Be thankful they're being helped. Don't worry about the circumstances. If they're cheating the system, they will be cheated. Nobody gets away with anything. And let's just love that we can all be fed, because there's plenty of food. It's just about working as one for it being dispersed. If you're one, and I've heard this before, that thinks an immigrant is coming in starting a business that you don't get to start, why haven't you started one? No one is taking anything from you. Listen to your shadow side and get yourself into a better feeling. Understand it. Where'd it come from? Shadow sides come from ourselves as children. They were taught to us too. They were given to us through experiences, through words, through those emotions, through those perceptions, through those beliefs that are handed to us. That we make a falsehood into a truth. But they can always be changed. Our beliefs and our perceptions can always be changed because they're our truth often, not that truth. Unless they're based in actual factual science, they're changeable. So keep that in mind and be gentle and kind and compassionate with yourself. And notice these shadow emotions when they surface. And then just say thank you. Thank you. I still need healing. And I'm going to go at it in a gentle way. And I'm going to help myself to feel better and better and lighter and lighter. Because that's what I deserve. That's who I am. I am a child of the highest creator. I am a child of the universe. I am a child of God. I am a child of Source, whatever you want to call yourself to be. I am a good child of quantum energy. It doesn't matter. You deserve to have the greatest life. The opportunity comes with the shadow work to have profound spiritual transformation. Take it on. It's worth it. Again, it makes your life better and better and better. And it also brings you into wholeness. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you connected with that. I would love your feedback. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. Remember, if you're listening to this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share. Follow me on my Facebook business page, Lisa M. Hobbs, Spiritual Coach and Medium. Follow me on Instagram under Spiritual Coach Lisa M. Hobb. I'm on TikTok, but I'm just lesser inclined to be on TikTok, but you never know. You never know where I might be. Thank you, and thank you again. I appreciate you all so very much. And until next week, many blessings.